Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to find out if companies are really playing us for fools or if their reports are actually worth the paper they're printed on. Today we're looking at Chesapeake Utilities Corporation, and it seems like they've got some news about how they performed in the first half of 2025. Stick around to see what they're telling us and what it might really mean. Before we dive in, if you like getting these plain English breakdowns of important financial news, make sure you subscribe. Also, we've got a fantastic community over on Discord where we chat about these filings even more, and you can find that link down in the description below. So, Chesapeake Utilities Corporation has put out a report, a Form 8K. Think of this like a special bulletin for big news that investors need to know about right away. They've released their financial results for the quarter and the first 6 months that ended on June 30th of 2025. The date on this is August 7, 2025, and the company's stock, CPK, is traded on the New York Stock Exchange. This means that when they announce anything important, everyone watching the stock market gets to know pretty quickly. Now, Chesapeake Utilities Corporation, what do they do? Well, as their name suggests, they're in the utility business. This usually means things like providing natural gas, electricity, or water to homes and businesses. It's a pretty essential service which can make for a stable business, but it also means they're usually heavily regulated by the government. Their main thing is their common stock, and right now that stock trades under the ticker symbol CPK on the New York Stock Exchange. It's important to know that they're trading on one of the biggest exchanges in the world, which means their financial reporting and actions are under a lot of scrutiny. This filing is mostly about their financial health and how they're doing. They've released a press release talking about their performance up to June 30th. Think of a press release like the company's announcement to the world about their numbers. They've attached that press release and it's being rolled into this official report. They also mentioned that on the same day, August 7th, they put a presentation on their website. This presentation is for a conference call where they'll talk more about these results. This means that not only are they telling investors directly, but they're also giving them extra material like slides to help explain their performance. It shows they're being open about how they're doing, at least on the surface. So the core of this report is really about the numbers they put out in that press release. We don't have the actual press release content in this filing, but we know it exists and is part of their official record. We also have a presentation that's being shared. These are the documents that will really tell us how Chesapeake Utilities Corporation is doing. Unfortunately, this specific 8K filing doesn't contain the actual financial tables with the detailed numbers. It's more of an announcement that those numbers and related details are available elsewhere, specifically in their attached press release and presentation. These are often where the crucial figures live, so without them here, we're getting the headline news rather than the deep financial dive. Imagine reading a newspaper article that says Company X released earnings but not showing the unmade net headline news rather than the deep financial dive. Imagine reading a newspaper article that says Company X released earnings but not showing the earnings numbers themselves. This filing points us to where those numbers are but doesn't reproduce them in this document. Normally, a filing like this, especially an 8K that's about results, would have tables with key financial figures. We'd be looking at things like revenue, profits, earnings per share, and maybe how much debt they have. We'd be comparing these numbers to the same period last year to see if they're growing or shrinking. For example, if revenue was up 10%, that's great, but if costs were up 20%, then their profit would be down. And we need to understand why. Is it because they're investing more or because things are getting more expensive for them, like the cost of natural gas or electricity production? In the absence of those tables here, we have to understand that the story is contained within the press release and the presentation. They are essentially flagging that the important financial story is being told through those external documents. The real meat of their performance for the quarter and 6 months ending June 30, 2025 is within those attachments. So while this document is the official notification to really understand Chesapeake Utilities' financial standing, you'd need to cross-reference it with Exhibit 99.1 and Exhibit 99.2. We are reporting on what the filing says about their results, which is that they have announced them and where to find them in. The filing is signed by Beth W. Cooper, who holds a very important role as Executive Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, Treasurer, and Assistant Corporate Secretary. This tells us who is officially verifying the information being presented by the company. Having the CFO sign off clearly shows that these are the company's official statements about their recent financial performance. It reinforces that this is the authorized communication from the company's top financial leadership. So to sum up what we've seen in this 8K filing for Chesapeake Utilities Corporation, they've officially reported that their financial results for the first half of 2025 are out. They've announced these results for a press release and are providing a presentation for further discussion. While this specific filing doesn't contain the detailed financial tables, it acts as the official record that these results have been made public and directs us to where we can find the full story in their press release and investor presentation. Now, looking at Chesapeake Utilities Corporation from a broader perspective, utility companies are generally seen as defensive investments. People need electricity and gas no matter what the economy is doing, so demand tends to be stable. This stability can translate into steady revenue and profits, which is attractive to investors looking for lower risk. However, because they are so essential, utilities are also heavily regulated. This means that when they want to raise prices to cover their costs or fund new projects, they often have to get approval from government bodies. This can be a slow process and can limit their ability to grow quickly, or sometimes even maintain profit margins if costs increase faster than they can get regulatory approval for price hikes, and can limit their ability to grow quickly, or sometimes even maintain profit margins if costs increase faster than they can get regulatory approval for price hikes. A key element to watch for any utility company is their infrastructure spending. They need to maintain and upgrade their systems to ensure reliable service and sometimes to adapt to new energy sources or regulations. This often requires significant capital investment funded through debt or by issuing new stock. So while they might report decent earnings, investors should always look at how much debt the company is taking on and its ability to generate enough cash to cover its obligations and fund future growth. The real story of their financial health lies in those numbers that were in the press release and presentation they filed alongside this, without seeing those numbers on revenue growth, profit margins and debt levels. It's hard to give a strong opinion on their current direction. We know they had results, but we don't know what those results were. Given what we do know from this filing, Chesapeake Utilities appears to be following standard procedure for disclosing financial results. They are being transparent about the fact that they have financial results to report and are pointing investors to the relevant materials. The key risks for a company like this would generally be regulatory changes, unexpected increases in operating costs, and the ability to secure the necessary capital for infrastructure investments. Conversely, opportunities might come from expansion into new service areas, adopting new energy technologies, or through strategic acquisitions. However, the true strength or weakness of their current direction can only be assessed by digging into the actual financial figures that this report tells us they have released. Alright, that's our breakdown of what this Chesapeake Utilities filing is telling us. What are your thoughts on utility companies in general? And what would you look for in their financial reports if you had access to them? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out. And of course, subscribe for more regular dives into these important corporate documents. Don't forget to join our Discord community. The link is in the description for more discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.